When the body becomes the unconscious mind, prayer in the field of silence. In the field of silence, where awareness breathes beyond the edges of thought, there is a sacred revelation waiting to be remembered. The body is not separate from the mind, it is the unconscious mind. It carries within it the full history of our emotional signatures, the silent echoes of every experience that shaped our sense of self. It is the archive of our stories, recorded not in ink but in chemical codes, electric currents, and rhythmic beats of the heart. The body remembers long after the mind forgets. Every sensation that ripples through the skin, every breath that catches in the chest, every tightening in the stomach or softening in the heart is a message from the unconscious. The body speaks a language older than words. It tells the story of our past reactions, our hidden beliefs, and our conditioned emotions. It whispers through pain, fatigue, cravings, and instincts, showing us what still lives unresolved within the inner landscape of being. In the quantum field of transformation, awareness becomes the bridge between the known and the unknown, between the programmed body and the conscious soul. We begin to see that our personality, the familiar rhythm of how we think, feel, and act, is not fixed. It is an energetic pattern that has been rehearsed so many times that the body has learned it by heart. It no longer needs the mind to play its melody, it simply repeats what it knows. The body then becomes the subconscious performer of our personal symphony, replaying the emotional tones that define who we think we are. When we say, "I am anxious, I am angry, I am hurt," we are not describing fleeting moments of emotion. We are describing rehearsed identities, states of being that have been memorized in the cells, muscles, and nerves. The mind may have moved on, but the body continues to live inside those memories. It craves the familiar chemical comfort of the known, even when that familiarity breeds suffering. The body does not judge, it only repeats what it has learned to associate with safety. In truth, most people are not consciously living, they are reliving. The body, acting as the unconscious mind, navigates each day by seeking the feelings it knows best, those of fear, guilt, shame, anger, or control, mistaking them for life itself. It becomes addicted to the biochemistry of old emotions, to the surge of stress hormones, to the electrical patterns of remembered pain. It keeps returning to the same internal weather, maintaining the personality that was once born from survival but now limits evolution. Yet in the field of silence there is another way. When the noise of thought subsides, when the observer awakens within, the body can be gently invited back into presence. In that sacred stillness, the conditioned mind of the body begins to soften, to trust, to release. The quantum field responds not to struggle but to surrender. Awareness is the solvent of conditioning. It melts the frozen loops of memory into the fluid potential of change. This is the invitation, to become aware of the body as it truly is, a living mirror reflecting the patterns of consciousness. To notice when your breath shortens in fear, when your shoulders rise in defense, when your heartbeat accelerates in stress. Each reaction is not random, it is a cue from the unconscious. When you learn to feel these signals without judgment, you begin the process of unlearning the old self. Drifting deeper into silence, you realize that emotion is energy in motion. It seeks expression, not suppression. Each feeling that arises is an opportunity to choose again, to rewire the body through awareness rather than habit. If the old self was built by repetition, so too is the new. But this time the repetition is conscious. Each breath becomes a declaration, I am no longer my past. Each moment of mindfulness becomes a gentle reprogramming, I am free to feel differently now. The transformation begins not in the mind's effort to think positively but in the heart's willingness to feel truthfully. The body listens not to thoughts but to frequency. It calibrates itself to the emotions we most often rehearse. So when we choose gratitude, compassion, or coherence, we are teaching the body a new emotional language. With time, the familiar becomes peace. The known becomes love. There will be resistance. The body, accustomed to the chemistry of the old self, will protest. It will whisper through fatigue, restlessness, or distraction, trying to pull you back into the known. It will crave the old rush of emotional adrenaline, the comfortable discomfort of stress. But now you understand, this is not failure, it is the body's memory asking for direction. Smile gently at its protest. Breathe deeply. Stay. Each time you remain present through discomfort, you teach the body that safety is no longer found in the past but in awareness itself. In this sacred work, repetition becomes your ally. Awareness becomes your discipline. Each morning, you awaken not to repeat who you were yesterday but to remember who you truly are beneath the conditioning. The new personality, the conscious self, begins to form not from effort but from coherence. You begin to embody new emotions before the outer world gives you reasons to feel them. You become gratitude before abundance. You become compassion before forgiveness arrives. You become peace before the situation resolves. This is how the body transforms, not through force but through frequency. As you rehearse elevated emotions, the body begins to trust this new vibration. Neural networks rewire. Hormones recalibrate. Energy flows freely once more. The heart synchronizes with the brain, sending coherent rhythms through every cell. The body, once the unconscious mind, becomes a conscious ally, a vessel of awakened awareness. In this field of silence, you understand that true healing is not about fixing the body but teaching it to remember the truth of wholeness. The quantum field responds to coherence. It reflects the harmony of your inner state. When your body and mind speak the same language, when thought and emotion align in elevated frequency, you become magnetic to new realities. You are no longer controlled by the past because the body no longer seeks it. You are free to create from presence. So breathe. Feel the air move through you as an instrument of awareness. Let your breath remind the body that it is safe to release. Feel your heartbeat as a rhythm of renewal, pulsing with the intelligence of life itself. Notice each sensation not as a problem but as communication. You are learning to listen to the language of your own biology. You are returning home to yourself. The body that once stored your unconscious patterns now becomes the sanctuary for conscious creation. You begin to move with grace, to speak with coherence, to rest in ease. Every gesture, every breath, every thought harmonizes into one living prayer of transformation. You are no longer reacting, you are creating. You are no longer remembering pain, you are embodying possibility. And in this awareness the quantum field opens. The unseen responds. Energy organizes itself around the vibration of your coherence. The universe mirrors your inner transformation with outer synchronicity. Life begins to flow with effortless precision because you are no longer divided within yourself. So breathe deeply, feel fully, rehearse with care, choose with presence, and become the version of yourself you are meant to be. The body will follow the mind of the heart, and the field will follow you.